Hi everyone, it is Holly with Authentic Productivity here with another video for you guys. Today I am talking about my everyday carry notebook and how I use it to keep myself organized. About a year ago, I started this process and it's really working for me. It helps keep me from losing things, from forgetting things. It's just amazing. So you're probably wondering what I mean by everyday carry notebook. And this one is my actual everyday carry notebook. I always have a hard time saying this. Lechsherm. I'm sure I butchered that. Anyway, I like this. It fits in my purse. And I use the dot grid. That's what I like. Some people like to carry it in their pocket, so they'll use something small like this Moleskine, because that'll fit in a pocket easily. This one I just have some cocktail recipes written in that I keep handy at my bar. And you could also use a spiral notebook. This particular one is my journal, but just to show you size-wise, something that would work. Now, when I'm home, this is usually on my desk or somewhere nearby with a pen. There's pens everywhere in this house. That way, whenever I need to make a note, I write it in my book. When I leave, this gets put in my purse. There's pens in my purse, so I have it with me. I can make notes. So what am I making notes on? I have notes in here from emails that I receive, and there's the ones from emails. You can see this notebook is just a jumble of all kinds of notes. From emails, it's things I want to save and remember that are going to go into my commonplace book. It could be reminders of things when I'm out with someone, or I'm just out and I think of something, like my daughter the other day was complaining her tooth hurt and she just had some dental work done with it. So I've made a note in here that I needed to call the dentist because it was after hours. I couldn't call them then. And of course, I will forget by the time the dentist opens again. So I put a note in here. I also put spending notes, or sometimes I'll just stick the receipt in here. That way I can log my spending. I put reflection questions that I come up with from different things, from books I'm reading, emails, classes, whatever. There are various reflection questions that I find. Book recommendations. When someone gives me a book recommendation, I put that in here. Quotes. Come across an interesting quote, I put that in here. If I take a class, I put all the notes in here. It is just a random hodgepodge of all kinds of notes. If someone, like my daughter, is participating in a Secret Santa and they all wrote their names and a couple items on a sheet of paper, a small piece of paper, and that's how they drew names of who they were getting. So I taped that in here. I don't want to lose it. Any little notes you don't want to lose go in this book. By now, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, I have this random collection of all of these notes in no kind of order. How is this helpful? The key is to once a week go through and process your notes. And for me, when I process on Fridays. Some Fridays it doesn't take that long, some Fridays it takes longer. It just depends on how many notes I have that week. Like this week, it is going to take me a while because I have several pages of notes from a class that I took. So when I sit down and process, I am at my desk, I have my computer, I have my commonplace book, I have my planner. Those are the main places where things will go. Notes from any classes go into my commonplace book. Note reminders go where appropriate, either my calendar or the planner, and maybe my to-do list. It could be a reminder, like my daughter asked me She called me when I was out the other day to tell me the potatoes we had were rotten. We needed new potatoes. A note went in here. And I actually have a shared family grocery list. She could have just put it on there, but she didn't. Teenagers. Anyway, spending notes, I log them in my planner, and then I have an Excel spreadsheet that I log them on once a week. So I track my spending for the month. Any reflection questions for journaling get added to my journal prompts book. Any book recommendations get added to my list on Amazon. Well, first I look up the book on Amazon and I'll read about it and see, is this really something I'm interested in? If it is, I have a book list on Amazon where I put any books I am interested in. That way I don't forget them. And then when I need to buy a book, I go check out that list to see what people have recommended. Any quotes that are in here get added to my quote book. So I have different places for everything, and I process every week. Don't get too far behind or it's a little overwhelming. The key to the processing part, when you process, I have 2 bookmarks in here. So one bookmark is where I stopped processing, and the other bookmark is where I'm currently writing. But I still like to mark the page that I've processed. So once I have processed the page, I put a check mark up here. That means this is all processed. It's done. If I stop in the middle of a page, I would say do the squiggle line and put a check here so I know what's below it hadn't been processed. Sometimes there are notes in here that don't need to get moved on, like that note about calling the dentist. I called the dentist before I processed my notebook, so I just put an X next to that note. I know it's done. I've handled it. I don't need to put any reminder anywhere. These notebooks are, like this one's not cheap, but you probably have a notebook sitting around your house you could use if you want to try this out. This notebook was cheaper than this one. These, I forget what I paid. It was a set of these. I got at Barnes & Noble, but there are cheaper versions. Like there's 99-cent notebooks at Walmart that are like this size you could use. It's a cheap, easy habit. It keeps you from forgetting things. It helps you with keeping track of things. I definitely recommend you give it a try. It's probably not going to work for you the first time because you're going to forget to process, or you're going to forget. You have to get used to it. It's a habit. You have to build it. Give it a real solid try and see if it makes a difference. If you try it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, how it worked for you. If you have a system like this, let me know if you have any tips for anyone that I haven't shared, or what your thoughts on it are. Like for me, it's a game changer having one place, not 20 different notebooks. I still have a lot of notebooks just because I like paper, but they're specific to different things. Not random notes everywhere, Post-its here. This works for me. I love it. I recommend it. Give it a try. I will post more details about all of this on my blog. There will be a link down below. And as always, you can sign up for my newsletter. There will be a link for that down below as well. Thank you for watching, and I will be back next week with another productivity, organization, life tip.